Welcome back to the Island series, triumphantly returning to the internet thanks to us finally getting home internet here at our place in Dublin. That month of internet darkness was pretty rough, but now that we're back online, it's good to have content coming back up on the blog. I think what I'd like to do with the video game series is make it a weekly GameCast to go up on weekends. I missed that secret right there. I knew it was there, but I missed making the jump. I'd like to make it a series that goes up once a week with some real-time updates on what we're doing. Kind of what it was supposed to be originally. Castlevania 3 was a little bit more in-depth and more involved than I should have gotten into to start. But Castlevania, the first one, has appeared on this blog before as a demonstration of the first level looking just like Castlevania 3's 8th level, I believe. But now that it's returned, I'm going to start from the beginning. The first level doesn't take very long to polish off. In this video, we'll see the first and second levels, although the stage numbers in the top right of the screen there go by going through these doors. Each level has 3 stages in it going up through. So here I'm spamming for points. Whenever you kill more than one enemy with your special weapon, you get bonus points right there. First enemy is worth a base amount. Second enemy with the same projectiles worth 1,000, and then the next one's 2,000. If you can get 4 of them, the next one's worth 4,000, I believe. I'm using the holy water here. Holy water is one of your special weapons. Now I picked up that Roman numeral 2. That's called the double shot. That lets me throw 2 of my special weapon at a time instead of waiting for the first one to dissipate. There, by getting to 30,000 points in the top left of the screen, I earned a 1-up. There was a 4,000. You earn extra lives, 1-ups, at 30,000 and 80,000. And then again at 130 and 180, I think. It starts to get a lot tougher, but you can get a few extra lives quickly and cheaply. I'm just kind of spamming points, spending time down here. Anyway, I'd like these videos to go up once a week on Saturdays to have almost like a podcast, but this gives me something to talk at with how things are going here. So we've been at home. I've been waiting at home for the internet for so long. Now that the internet's here, I'll get to actually start looking for a job. For me to get a job, I learned happily because of Sarah's placement. There won't be any special salary requirements, special hours requirements. I can get a job almost anywhere, doing almost anything for almost any pay and almost any hours, which is nice. The one hiccup will be there is some paperwork involved for both me and my employer. It'll take, once I get a job offer, 3 weeks to a month for that paperwork to process. So that might be a little bit of an inhibitor to getting started, because I'll have to find a company or an employer who will be willing to wait for a month before I can actually start working. So I'd like to get going as soon as I can on that. I knew about that power-up right there, that secret, and actually collected it, unlike that first one. So now I have the internet. I did a post. I'm recording this on Thursday, the day the post went up, about updating my social media presence. Hopefully that will help as I make some connections so that I don't send emails to potential employers with a picture of RoboCop on them. I've been doing some fishing. We live just a little ways away from the River Dodder, they say here in Ireland. We would, in the States, call it the Dodder River, but here the river comes before the name of the river. The Liffey is the main river in town, then the River Dodder. Also, we probably would call the Dodder River, looks more like a creek or a stream for most of its length, at least in Dublin here, and I'm sure it starts up in the mountains. I'm sure it's even smaller up there. It has wild and stocked brown trout in it, and I've caught a few of each of those. The keeping limit is 9 inches, so I've caught 2 keeper-sized fish. The river also has sea trout, an irritating sound when you have your hearts going up there. So the map screen, I'm making my way through the main courtyard. Now I'm going up to the next area. This is level 2, stage 4, level 2. There are wild sea trout that migrate their way up the river. Here's a secret down there. You're not allowed to keep wild sea trout, and it also is a river that wild salmon migrate up to spawn, but you can't keep those. They are pretty heavily regulated by the fisheries department, as they should be. My first day or so going up there, I ran into just a nice stranger who saw me fishing and asked me what I was doing. He hadn't seen me down there before. And when he looked at my equipment, he insisted not only that he give me some bait, but also that he give me some hooks of an appropriate size. Apparently, he thought the hooks I was using were too big, and everything I had was not the right size for them. I was also using a spinner, and he recommended and gave me a handful of maggots to use for bait. I very quickly caught 2 nice trout that night, so I have to really thank him, and I got a chance to see him the next day. When I thanked him for the maggots, he gave me more maggots. And yes, by maggots, I mean the little fly grub larvae. They look like what we would call waxworms back in the States if you're fishing. Just a little white, and some of them are red or pink-colored grubs that just squirm. They're kind of nasty. I have not bought any because live bait here is going to be a challenge for me. Because live bait's expensive, and live bait is very perishable. So, in an effort to try something else, I've tried corn, and just last night I tried some dough bait. I did catch one nice keeper on a piece of corn, but haven't caught anything else with the corn, and the dough bait didn't yield me much either. This is the tricky part going up here on level 2. Making those jumps and avoiding the Medusa heads. If you get touched by one, they'll knock you back into those pits. And many a maddening time has been when we have had that happen. We were good to get a nice lucky playthrough on this second level. I tried not to show you my best run-throughs and everything, but I was just pretty hot this day playing through Castlevania. I wasn't using save states at this stage in the game. Later on I did when I got stuck a little bit, and when I fight Dracula, you'll see I use some save states. The controls in this game, again, just like Castlevania 3, were intentionally made pretty difficult, because if you had full control on a game like this, it would be too easy. And you'd be finished with the game in an hour, and you'd be an unsatisfied customer. But in 1987, they made the game difficult. It gave you more hours of playtime. This Medusa head can knock you off if you're not really careful, too. Lucky I knew that was coming, and that one, too. So, in your jumps, it's hard to describe, but you can't control your jump once you've left the ground. In a lot of games you could jump, and if you saw that your trajectory was taking you to danger, you could arrow back the other way and control your jump in midair. In this one, that's not the case. If you make a strange arc on your jump, you're committed to it. These spikes are one-hit killers, so if you bump into them, no matter what your life bar, you're toast. That middle one's pretty tricky, but again, I got it on the first time in this run. I don't get it on the first time every run. I don't claim to be an expert at this game, but I do really like playing it. Kind of my inspiration for bringing the series back with this one, because I've been playing it so much. I thought I'll just record it and bring back this series. So I got a fishing rod set up at the local bait shop, and met the proprietor there, who was very curious about what kind of fishing methods I used back in the States. People can pick out that I'm an American instantly, every time, and I have not met one person yet who goes, "Oh, America is it then?" And it's fine, because everybody here is incredibly nice to, at least to me. I don't know if they're mean to people from other places. There is kind of a strange passive racism towards some of the Eastern European people here. I hear some pretty nasty things about the influx of Polish and Russian and Ukrainian people here, which is sad. But that's what I hear sometimes, and I try to discourage it when I do meet people who bring those things up, especially with fishing. They kind of criticize their fishing methods and they do with fish. I don't know, it's all the same to me. They probably criticize the way I fish to my face, or to other people and are nice to my face too, but they've all been very kind to me. The proprietor was, very interesting about what kind of baits I use. Meanwhile, we're finished with level 2. Next week, we'll talk about more that's going on in my life after the irritating sound, and we'll be on to level 3. Here we'll see us making our way through the castle.